Hey, what's going on, guys? I got another Wi-Fi battle for you guys right now, and I'm actually super excited for this one. I tried to use Zygarde 10% form, and let's just get into it. So I lead off with Mamoswine as my opponent leads off with his Crimson, which is his Scizor, so it's actually a pretty good, decent matchup to be fighting against, and his Bullet Punch does a decent amount. But the main reason why I start off with this one is I wanted to set up my rocks. I am Focus Sash, so I would have lived either way. But I didn't want to switch in anything on a Bullet Punch. I decided Mamoswine was really good to just basically let it sack off and die. So I bring out my Marowak here, and Marowak outspeeds because I do have a Jolly variant, and this thing will one-shot this thing, unless it was Sash, but it was not, so this thing goes down like nothing. I take a decent amount of recoil damage, but it's not really that big of a deal. My opponent brings out a Sylveon, and I actually could have stayed in and done a decent amount of damage, but I really wanted to save this thing for some other stuff on his team, so I decided to go to my Celesteela, and he goes for the Shadow Ball here, which actually does a decent amount, but not enough to actually hurt my Celesteela. I also resist his Fairy type moves, and you know, just in general, this thing is very good against my opponent. Now, I wasn't going for the Leech Seed, but he did have two things that were immune. He did have a Goodra and this thing, so I knew going for the Leech Seed would be bad, especially if his Goodra had Sap Zipper. So I decided to just go for the Heavy Slam, which if his Sylveon stayed in would have knocked it out, but it didn't, so I ended up just going straight for the Fire Blast here. It's not enough to knock him out, as my opponent goes for a Phantom Force, which something really interesting about this move is something I never knew. Actually, I'm going for the Protect, because I thought Protect, I didn't know that Phantom Force goes through Protect. I really did not know that, and it freaking is crazy insane to find out that Phantom Force actually gets through Protects. Basically, I would have lost a turn either way, so it didn't really matter. So I go for a Heavy Slam here just because I don't want to miss, and just in case he goes on any switches, I'll be able to take something really good. I end up killing him, and I get the Beast Boost, which increases my special defense, and luckily, my opponent goes out into Talonflame, which is just great, because his priority is now gone. I decided to switch out to my Mandibuzz, because I expect the Flare Blitz, but instead he goes for the Flame Charge to increase his speed, and I think, you know what, this is fine. I can take any one hit he wants to go with. Even if he goes for his Brave Bird, that's fine. But because he took over 50% from rocks, I go for a Whirlwind here. But he does go for the Tailwind, which I did not expect him to go for. And when that Mandibuzz comes back in, it's going to die. My opponent actually brings out the Electros, and this thing is kind of a threat to my team. I'm not sure if Mandibuzz can take a hit here, so I do switch out into my Marowak, expecting the Thunderbolt, and my opponent goes for Discharge, which Lightning Rod lets me soak it up, increase my special attack, which again doesn't matter, but the whole point is to get immunity to that. My opponent goes for a Crunch, and my Marowak lives it, and I figured Shadow Bone would be more than enough to take it out, or at least do a huge amount, and it does. So my alone Marowak here is doing so much work, as my opponent sends out his Sylveon here. Now, I'm not sure if I can outspeed, but I do actually switch out here. And I go back out to my Celesteela, because I realize Celesteela can easily take up any one hit here. It doesn't really matter. Sure, I lost a special defense boost, but there's no reason not to go for anything here. My opponent's Tailwind finally peters out, as my opponent switches out of Sylveon and goes out into Goodra here. So I believe I did go for the Heavy Slam at this point. Yes, I did, because again, Goodra scares me. I don't want to get its attack increased for any reason that's not necessary. I get a decent amount back from Leftovers. My opponent goes for Ice Beam, and I thought this would do a lot more than what it does. It does absolutely nothing. And I go for another Heavy Slam, which ends up knocking out this Goodra. Goodra actually does not counter Celesteela at all, which is really good. And I thought that Heavy Slam wouldn't do so much because Goodra's pretty heavy. My opponent goes out into his Talonflame, which didn't make any sense here, but you know, rocks just knock it out. And I think I went just for I don't know what I went for. He just died. He got switched out and it died. So my opponent goes out into the Sylveon. There's the only thing left. He goes for a Shadow Ball. I go for a Heavy Slam, and that's game. I just want to thank you guys so much for checking out the videos. If you guys can, please make sure to leave a like. It really helps out the channel. Share the video with your friends if you want, but if not, it's completely cool. And I got some more videos here on the screen, so if you guys want to check out some more content, there's a bunch of stuff right here. So with that, I'm going to get going, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Later, guys. Bye.